Alright, so today I'm not doing any tutorials, I'm not doing any product reviews. This video is just the real talk truth about why your hair isn't growing. And y'all may not like me after this video. No, I'm just kidding. Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time, then thank you so much for clicking on this video, and make sure that you click that subscribe button so that you can join the family. And for everybody else, don't forget to hit that notification bell so that YouTube will let you know when I actually drop a new video. Alright, so I'm just going to go through 10 reasons why your hair either isn't growing or it might just seem like your hair isn't growing. So reason number 1 is in the seems like your hair isn't growing category, and that is shrinkage. Alright, so listen, I know all about the struggle with shrinkage because I have a ton of shrinkage. However, I've learned to just embrace the shrinkage because the truth is, shrinkage means that your hair is really healthy. When your hair is damaged, it's not going to shrink as much because you basically have straightened your natural curls. If you think about it, curly hair is always going to be shorter than straight hair because it's literally in a spiral pattern. The amount of shrinkage that you have depends on your curl type, your curl pattern, but pretty much regardless, if you have curly hair, you're going to have some shrinkage. So that's just something that you're gonna have to get used to and learn to just love your shrinkage. You can do certain things to stretch your curls. So like for this style, for instance, this is a braid out style. It's like a day 3 braid out. And as you can see, my hair is elongated and it's not as short as when my hair is in a style such as a wash and go. So you can try braid outs, twist outs, also stretch your hair some. You can also use some heat. You can blow dry your roots to stretch out your hair. You can straighten your hair, but I wouldn't do that too often. We'll get to that later. And you can also try the banding method. All of these things will stretch your curls and help you fight the shrinkage a little bit. But again, it's just something that you're gonna have to probably get used to. So reason number 2 is a really big one. It's not retaining your length, aka breakage. Alright, so your hair is growing. Your hair is in the growing phase 90% of the time. So the problem isn't that your hair isn't growing. The problem might be that your hair is literally breaking off. Alright, so for those who don't know, your hair actually grows ½ an inch every single month on average. However, if your hair is also breaking off at the same rate, it's going to look like your hair isn't growing because basically every little bit that you gain, you're losing it at the same time. So to avoid breakage, you really want to be very gentle with your hair. Be gentle with the ends of your hair especially, because the ends of your hair are the oldest part of your hair and the most fragile part of your hair. So when you're combing your hair, when you're styling your hair, you just want to be very careful that you're not causing any unnecessary breakage. I choose to finger detangle because this really helps to cut down on the breakage for me. I noticed so much less breakage once I started finger detangling. But regardless of what you want to do, just be very gentle. Alright, so the third reason is your diet / your water intake. Alright, so if you think about it, your hair is really just an extension of your overall health. So if you're not healthy, your hair is not going to be healthy. They go together. So this is why it's very important to have the proper diet if you want your hair to flourish. Alright, so I'm not going to get too technical and preach at y'all about what you should be eating, but I'm just going to name a few foods that are really good for hair growth. So things such as protein, biotin, vitamins like vitamin C, vitamin D, all of these things are really good for hair growth. You can either get these in supplements or vitamins, or you can try to just get them from eating a proper diet. So things like eggs, chicken, berries, All of this stuff is really, really good. Avocados, I don't personally eat avocados, but I know that they are good for hair growth. And of course, you want to be eating all of your fruits, all of your vegetables. You just really want to focus on eating healthy because everything comes from the inside. If your insides are not healthy, the outside of you is not going to be healthy. That goes for your hair, that goes for your skin, your nails, whatever it is. It starts with eating the right things. And that leads me right into the water intake. Again, everything comes from the inside. So you can't expect for your hair on the outside to be moisturized if you're not drinking water to make your hair moisturized. So if you feel like your hair is always dry and brittle, try drinking some water. Just take a bottle of water to work or to class or whatever, and just slowly work it into your diet. And after a while, it'll become second nature to you. And I promise your hair will thank you for it. So reason number 4 is not deep conditioning enough. So this kind of goes along with the moisture and the water intake. If you aren't getting enough water from just drinking your water, you can supplement the moisture with some deep conditioning. So the reason why deep conditioning is important is because it is able to penetrate your hair strands. Regular conditioner and other products will sit on top of your hair, but they won't actually get inside your hair. So I choose to deep condition my hair every single time that I wash, which is every week or every 2 weeks. It really kind of depends on your hair. If you feel like your hair needs more protein, then you can go for more protein-based deep conditioners. But if your hair is dry, I would go for more moisture-based deep conditioners. And I like to try to switch up my deep conditioners pretty often just so that my hair doesn't get too used to anything and just to make sure that my protein-moisture balance is correct. But regardless, you need to be deep conditioning if you want your hair to grow. Alright, so reason number 5. Girls, I know everybody talks about protective styling and you have to protective style that's going to make your hair grow. And yes, there is a place for protective styling. However, I see people all the time that are just not protective styling the correct way. If you want your hair to grow, you have to be careful with your protective styles. If you're going to get your hair braided and it's too tight or if the hair is too heavy, it's gonna cause unnecessary breakage. You're gonna start losing your edges, and it's just gonna be counterintuitive to your hair growth. I do believe that there is a place for protective styling, but I'm personally against keeping your hair in a protective style all the time. The reason for this is not only are you not able to properly take care of your hair while it's in the protective style, but it also causes a lot of tension on your scalp and on your hair strands. So I would recommend that if you're gonna get your hair braided or get any type of protective style, just to make sure that whoever is doing them, or if you're doing them yourself, that they're not too tight and that you don't wear them for too long of a period. You want to be able to give your hair a break from the protective style and give your hair a chance to breathe. You can wash it and deep condition it just to make sure that your hair is being properly taken care of. So this also applies to sew-ins, even wigs. If you're wearing wigs all the time and you're never taking care of your hair underneath, then are you really protecting your hair? I would say probably not. So if you're gonna wear wigs or weave or whatever, just make sure that you're still not neglecting your hair up underneath the protective style. So reason number 6 is too much heat. And I will clarify that by saying too much direct heat. Because things like blow drying or sitting under a hooded dryer are actually considered indirect heat. And for some of us, like myself, who have low porosity hair, heat is actually necessary. So like when I deep condition, I always sit under my hooded dryer or I use my hot head heating cap because the heat actually helps the deep conditioner penetrate your hair strands a little bit better. But that's not what we're talking about. When I say direct heat, I mean flat irons, curling wands, anything that is directly touching your hair. So I'm not telling you that you can never straighten your hair. I'm just saying be very careful with this. I wouldn't recommend straightening your hair more than maybe 3-4 times a year. I only straighten my hair once a year for the most part, just because heat can be very, very damaging. However, there is a way to straighten your hair without any damage. You just want to make sure that you're using the proper heat protectant and that you're not turning your flat iron up too high, because hair actually burns at 450 degrees. So you don't want to go anywhere near this, because once you get that heat damage, you really can't fix it. You have to just cut it off, and nobody wants to do that. So if you feel like your hair isn't growing and the growth has just been stunted, then you might want to look at how much heat are you putting on your hair. If you're straightening your hair every week, every other week, then that's probably a reason why your hair isn't growing. So reason number 7 is going to be you're using the wrong products. All right, so what do we mean by the wrong products? So I know y'all hear naturals talking all the time about make sure that you look at the ingredients on all of your products. And the reason for that is that there are some products that have chemicals in them that can affect your hair growth. You just want to make sure that your products have water as the #1 ingredient. Everything on that label is something that you can Google and really find out what that ingredient is if you don't already know what it is. Look for products that have water, like I said, that have a lot of natural oils, natural ingredients, because if it's natural and plant-based, then you know that it'll be good for you, versus something like silicones, which are man-made and that just literally sit on your hair. So the 8th reason might not apply to everybody, but if you feel like you've been eating right and you've been doing all these other things that I've been telling you to do and your hair still isn't growing, or if it's just breaking off really bad, you might want to look at what medications you're taking. There are certain medications that are known to cause your hair to be brittle and break, or to just cause it to grow really slowly, or to even fall out. So you really want to look at all the medications that you're taking. And if it's a prescribed medication, then don't be afraid to talk to your doctor and just be like, hey, you know, my hair feels like it's a lot more brittle now. I was just wondering if there is anything else that I can try. And most times they'll recommend something else that you can try. And if it is a medication that you absolutely have to take, then you might be able to adjust the dose or adjust how often you have to take it. So the 9th reason is not cleansing your scalp. So back when I was talking about the deep conditioning, this basically pairs right along with that, and it's washing your hair. All right, so I know a lot of us Black people probably grew up not washing our hair that often, maybe once every 3 weeks, maybe once a month, maybe once every 2 months, whatever. But I'm telling you, this makes a huge difference in your hair. No, you do not need to be washing your hair every single day because that's too much, but you do want to wash your hair at least every 2 weeks, y'all. I would personally say if you are just starting your hair journey, I would wash and deep condition every single week, but at the least every 2 weeks. Like I said earlier, your hair grows from your scalp. So if your scalp is dirty, or if it's unhealthy, if you have any infections, things like dandruff, this could really affect your hair growth. So if you do have any of these conditions, you can go to your doctor and talk about it. You can Google it. There's a lot of different home remedies that you can use for dandruff or for fungal infections of your hair. But just like I was saying about the protective styles, if you keep braids or sew-ins in your hair for too long without washing it or without letting your hair fully dry underneath it, you can develop fungal infections. So you can keep your scalp healthy with washing it, like I said. You can also use some oils. There's things like tea tree oils, peppermint oil, coconut oil, any type of oil that you choose. You can massage your scalp with it. And bonus tip, massaging your scalp actually does help with hair growth because it stimulates your hair and causes blood flow. And blood flow leads to growth. So we've made it to the 10th reason, and that is mindset. All right, So just take that in for a second. Your mindset. If you are constantly negative about your hair and constantly saying, oh my God, my hair won't grow, I hate my hair, it's never gonna be as long as so-and-so, you're probably not gonna see the growth that you want because you're being so negative about your hair. And I know it can become frustrating. I know it's hard watching your hair grow. It grows so slowly. But I promise, if you implement these things that I'm telling you, your hair will grow. Your hair is growing all the time. You just have to have the proper outlook about it. I remember I used to have like the hair growth t-shirt, and I would check my hair every month to make sure that it was growing exactly ½ an inch. And y'all, I promise, once I stopped doing all that, my hair really like started to grow. It's crazy. But the more that you stress about it and pay attention to it, the worse that your hair growth journey will be. And you just want a positive journey. You just want to look at it as, all right, I'm trying to get my hair to be healthy, because healthy hair will grow long. You don't have to focus on the growth if you focus on the health. So that's what I recommend that you do. Just think happy, positive thoughts. Okay, so that's the end of this video. I really hope that there is something in here that helped you guys. So if you have any other tips or reasons why someone's hair might not be growing, then make sure that you comment that down below. I would love to see it. And don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you guys in my next video.